Hello and welcome back to the channel. This afternoon, Malton is shrouded in mist and therefore we've come to sunny Scarborough by the sea to shoot this video of a rather wonderful 1966 Triumph Vitesse 6. Now the Vitesse was derived from Triumph's small car of the late 50s, early 60s, the Triumph Herald, and this six-cylinder version was their attempt to produce a slightly more sporting, smoother version. So the Herald and the Vitesse were both designed by a famous Italian designer called Michelotti, a very attractive and actually quite unusual shape for its era. The Vitesse was the attempt to make a smoother, slightly more sporting version of the Herald saloon, but it shares many of the same components. There's a difference particularly in frontal styling with the slightly slanted quad headlamps, but if you look at it from the rear, apart from a few detail changes, it's essentially the same body shell. The Vitesse was introduced in 1962 and early models had a dash very similar to that of the Herald. This is of the slightly later design with a fuller instrument panel and a little bit more wood inside. There were also some detailed mechanical changes. The original Solex carburetors were replaced by twin Strombergs. It's a very smooth and refined car for its era, and this particular example in Wedgewood Blue is probably one of the more attractive that you would see on the roads today. One of the things many people notice about the Triumph Herald, the Vitesse, and also the sports car that was derived from this model, the Triumph Spitfire, is the rear suspension setup. And just looking at the car from the back, you'll see in the early models that the wheels seem to be rather tucked in like that. Now that produced some rather interesting handling characteristics, because if you were cornering at speed and hit a bump and the wheels went up, the car could become very skittish very quickly. Later cars had an improved design of rear suspension, essentially the same basic setup, but it was an attempt to counteract that rather disturbing characteristic. Having said that, the handling was, what shall we say today, a little bit quirky. Actually got a lovely gearbox, this car. They have synchromesh on second, third and fourth gear. They weren't the strongest gearboxes in the world, Triumph gearboxes, and often with a few miles on you get some bearing noise, particularly in the indirect gears. This doesn't have it. It's absolutely lovely. Good synchros, nice quiet gearbox. Essentially the model's an upmarket and slightly sportier version of the Triumph Herald. One of the most remarkable things about this model is only really evident when you're manoeuvring. It has an amazing steering lock. It's almost like a taxi. You can turn these things in a very short space, and it's, when you look at the vehicle when the wheels are on full lock, you'd almost think, well, how can it move forward at all? That at such an angle. But it does make for a great vehicle for parking. It's very easy to park these cars. One thing you could say about this car is it's very usable indeed. I've spent a couple of hours with it now, and it's very smooth, very quiet. It has no foibles in terms of driving it the way that I've done. So we've just had a lovely drive down now from Scarborough's North Bay to the South Bay. This is where what we call the sort of more tourist side of it. Maybe I shouldn't really say this, but the locals describe many of the visitors here as comfort, and I never quite understood it. Once someone explained it to me as a child of West Yorkshire, I got it. Comforts are the regular visitors from West Yorkshire who comfort weekend. The temperatures remain constant, doesn't seem to have used that much fuel. It's really a very together little car, nicely retrimmed inside, reupholstered, new carpets. It's a nice place to be. It is just a step up from the Triumph Herald, from which it gets its basic design. Another thing about the 1600cc standard Vanguard derived engine is it develops its power very low down. So we're now going just 20 miles an hour, but it's still perfectly capable of pulling away in 4th gear. Well, the sun's quite low in the sky now as we drive around the North Bay in Scarborough, and it really is a lovely, brisk little car to drive. Very precise on the steering. It's got rack and pinion steering. It's comfortable. It's the sort of car you'd do exactly what I've just done with it, which is take it on a jaunt out to the seaside, enjoy a cup of coffee overlooking the sea, really enjoy being out and about in something as nostalgic and iconic as this little saloon car from the 1960s.